Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got some bad injury news on quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I'll read this right here from Ian Rappaport. He said Washington quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick is believed to have suffered a hip subluxation. So that's pretty bad news. We'll talk about that, how long I think he will be out, and what will Washington do at the quarterback position. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Also hit that like button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. Let's get right into it. So this is obviously really bad news for quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I'll read the rest of the tweet right here. So we talked about the injury. He'll have an MRI tomorrow to determine if that's the case and how much damage it caused, sources say. The hope is nothing was broken, a serious injury, but they'll learn how serious tomorrow. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how these injuries work, but some people are saying 2 to 3 months. It's like a less severe version of what Tua had at Alabama, but he's definitely going to be out for a decent period of time. You know, Tom Pelissero says Taylor Heinicke time extended indefinitely. So he's going to be out for at least, I would say, a month. So he's going to be put on IR, and it's really Taylor Heinicke time. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and if Washington wants to bring in another quarterback. But I just think it's really, really unfortunate for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we only got to see him with this offense for about, a quarter and a half, and really only about, I can't remember exactly, but it was 2 or 3 possessions because the Chargers had the ball for so long in those possessions before Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt. It's really unfortunate because, I wanted to see at least Ryan Fitzpatrick play for a little bit, see how he, looked, because I thought he was going to have a solid season, but we still got, Taylor Heinicke, who will likely be the starter for the next couple weeks, and I think, a lot of people are saying possibly, that they'll bring in Cam or other options. Ian Rappaport, though, he says the Washington football team has confidence in the 2 QBs on its roster. Will look internally before considering anyone not on the roster. Well, they're going to have to bring in another QB, at least, to be on their practice squad or to be the third QB because, Heinicke has been injury prone in his career and so has Kyle Allen. So they got to bring in another guy. Doesn't necessarily need to be to the active roster, but at least to the practice squad. But, I think this is going to be, again, not a doctor, but I'm guessing Heinicke will be the starter at least for the next 4+ weeks before, if Ryan Fitzpatrick does indeed come back this season. And, Heinicke, looked pretty good today. 11 for 15, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, had a pass rating of 119.3, and had 3 rushes for 17 yards. Didn't really get that many possessions again because the Chargers were just carving us up. But, I thought he looked pretty good. Not amazing, but he definitely looked good out there. And I want to see what he looks like this week against the Giants. Hopefully, we can get that win against the Giants. And hopefully Taylor Heinicke can stay healthy because that's been a knock on him in his career. And then this is a tweet from JP Finley. He says, gotta figure at least short-term IR. I think he will be placed on IR after tomorrow if whatever this injury is confirmed. Hip subluxation. Sorry, I've been having trouble pronouncing that, but if that is indeed true, then he's probably going to go on IR. And then JP Finley says, Ron Rivera traded for Kyle Allen last year and re-signed him this offseason. Rivera also re-signed Taylor Heinicke this offseason. They're not going to call Cam. So that's what he said. We'll see if it happens. I honestly want to see what Heinicke can do. Give him a chance. You got to give him a couple games to see what he can do before you consider bringing in another guy. I would bring in someone off the streets to be the third guy, and just so you can at least get him in your system in case something happens, or you can put him on the practice squad just so they do, know the playbook at least a little bit before, if they have to somehow get in the game. And this is just really, it's like, why can we ever have a normal quarterback situation? I know Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't an amazing quarterback, but he's serviceable, and we thought he was going to be able to start for us for at least a little bit, and he's out in the second quarter. He's injured, maybe even for the season, in the middle of the second quarter. The quarterback carousel continues. I really thought we had this, season, we had a chance to have, a normal quarterback season, where I know it hasn't happened in the past with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I thought he was going to have a solid year for us this year. Nothing special, but I thought he was going to, start most of the games this year, have a couple up and down games where maybe Taylor Heinicke comes in for a game or two, but now it's definitely not going to be the case. And Washington, man, they got to find their quarterback of the future, and maybe they think it's Taylor Heinicke, and I think this gives them an opportunity to give him a few games and possibly the rest of the season, unless they bring in someone like Cam Newton or another quarterback. Taylor Heinicke has his chance. Let's see what he can do with it. Every game we've seen him play in the regular season and playoffs, I'm not counting preseason, he has looked really, really good. And today was another day like that where, 11 for 15, 122 yards. He was moving the ball when the offense was on the field. We had that field goal right before half. We had the touchdown, and we might have had another field goal. I'm not too sure. We had a field goal attempt that Dustin Hopkins missed, but the offense looked really good with Taylor Heinicke under center. And, at least here's the thing. The players already have some chemistry with Taylor Heinicke, so it's not going to be a huge adjustment period. Terry McLaurin, all these guys played with him last season and during this off season, and someone like Curtis Samuel played with him in Carolina. So obviously the injury sucks, because I wanted to see Ryan Fitzpatrick, because I thought he was going to have a solid season for us, but it's unfortunate. Let's see what Taylor Heinicke can do before bringing in another quarterback. That's my take. I want to see Taylor Heinicke at least for 2, 3, 4 weeks, unless he looks really bad. But before we bring in anyone else to compete for the starting job, I'm fine with them bringing in a third stringer or someone else to have as insurance. But I don't think we need to bring in a guy over Taylor Heinicke yet. He looked pretty good today. He knows the system, and Scott Turner really likes him, and the players seem to like him as well. So let's give him a shot, and I'm excited to see what he can do against the Giants this Thursday, because remember, we have a game in a few days. So, the Giants are going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, because they're not going to have too much, film to, watch on Taylor Heinicke, and also they probably already prepared for the game a little bit, and they were preparing for Ryan Fitzpatrick to be under center, and that's not the case. So that could, be to Washington's advantage. So like I said, excited to see Heinicke, but also it really sucks for Ryan Fitzpatrick, because he was given the chance to be the starter. He was going in as the starter and only got a quarter and a half before he's injured. And he has, bounced from being a backup to the starter to backup again a bunch in his career, but really it hasn't been because of injuries, it's been because of play. But of course, once he comes to Washington, he gets injured. It's just the quarterback carousel continues. So in the comments down below, let me know what you want Washington to do. Stick it out with Taylor Heinicke. That's what I think they should do, at least in the next couple weeks. Or should they go after someone like Cam or another quarterback to bring in? Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. And yeah, let me know any videos you guys want to see in the next couple days before we play the Giants on Thursday. Peace, guys.